Cheddar DVD. Ha! Well, I told you my son was gonna be big. What's going on, man?
What's up, Marseille? I like these drive seat belts. I get a little bit help from you.
Yeah.
Yo, first of all, I got to say I like these right here. These are real sharp, man. I gotta give you some of these. Yeah.
I'm working on it, man. Yeah. I'm working. I'm trying
that
to
promo was serious. That promo, hell yeah. I see the drive shit out all over the place. You know, I'll be parked pulling up. I'll be seeing Cherokee with the drive shit sitting on the corners and shit. I'm like, I say work it.
I'm trying to become you, man.
Shit, cut that out.
Come on, man.
You doing better than me right now. Yeah, we AC.
Google Cheddar DVD and then Google Marseille. Let me try to go back. Let's go way back to the beginning. Cheddar DVD. Where were you? What happened? How did you? Why Cheddar DVD? How did it come to life?
So Cheddar originally was supposed to be a magazine, a print. Originally, right? Okay. So it was supposed to be like the Source magazine meets Black Enterprise meets King magazine. So all these magazines in one. That was Cheddar. So you're gonna get some business story, you're gonna see some fly chicks, and you're gonna get the music. So it's gonna be a magazine. But it was, it was predominantly teaching, entrepreneurship, what black folks are doing with their money and things of that nature. So, I remember coming through Jersey. I was driving back to Maryland or some shit. And my wife at the time, Tam, she was like, we was driving, I was like, how about Cheddar? She was like, Cheddar? This is for the magazine. She was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, Cheddar. So she thought about it, we thought about it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do Cheddar. So, I think I might have drove back to Boston like a couple of days later. I started researching to do the magazine. And come to find out, for what it cost to print the magazine, what it would take to run the staff of the magazine, everything it cost, like the first edition was gonna be like $30,000-$40,000. With $30,000-$40,000, that was enough to buy equipment and go print DVDs. And the price, and you got to remember, at that time the price of a magazine was only $5. The price of a DVD was $20. I remember the first time I went to Atlanta to film and stuff, and I had a cameraman and shit, my man Zay, and he's like, well, who's going to interview? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, no. I was like, we was doing an interview at the sneaker store and shit, and it's like, I was like, man, well, you got to do it. I was like, man, I really didn't want to be on camera. I was kind of like, I like playing the background. I don't like being in my face. I just like being in the background. I didn't want to be on camera. So I was kind of forced to kind of someone had to ask the questions. Someone had to get the interview. So he was like, do it. And then, so I did it. And it was cool. It wasn't no problem. But what happened is, when I got bit and I just I kind of liked it and I got excited, we went to Source Awards or something, and Ja Rule was there. He was saying something, they go Ja Rule. Now this is the time Ja Rule was huge. Ashanti's out, and J-Lo's out. Ja Rule was fucking killing the charts. He's the #1 motherfucker on the billboards. So I see Ja, so I'm like, fuck. He's like, man, you better get that interview. So it was like, man, can I get this motherfucker to talk on my camera? Yeah. You know what I mean? Can I get this exclusive footage? Yep. I got that interview, and that was like the first bite. Once I got that bite, it was like, wow. It was like, man, all I gotta do was, just like that it just turned me on. Probably like a dope fiend that fix, like when they get that dope and they're like, they feel good in the morning. Like when I got that, whenever I get that interview, that you know what I mean? It's like I'm not gonna miss it. So, like I was aggressive in getting interviews. I was really aggressive. Like folks would tell you, like, yo, nah, Cheddar's gonna get that interview. So it was more like, competing with myself. Like, man, I'm gonna make Suge Knight talk.
So when so during one of the interviews, I guess I don't even know if he was just trying to be Suge or be aggressive. When he suggested that you move the mic.
So anytime I can give back, I'm gonna give back. Anytime there's somebody keeping that shit gangster, keeping that shit real, like you got this motherfucking mic in my motherfucker, you trying to give me a violation?
Oh, come on, ain't like that. Let me just say, it's cool. That's all what they've been used to.
I'm gonna ride for, you know what I'm saying? She gives some uncut, she spanking motherfucking ears. But this PD motherfucking powerful.
So how do you internally handle that at the time?
So it's like, yo, you violating me with that mic in my face. I'm gonna get a violation. It's too close, Yeah. But now you got to remember, like, this is their outlet. There was no YouTube. There was no nothing. Right. So for him, he gets to light his cigar, pop off, and look like this gangster. Right. That was. Right. I was his platform. Right. You know what I mean? So he knew what he was doing. He ain't stupid. Okay. He know he like 6'6", and I'm like 5'6". Come on, man. Come on. He know he a gangster. I'm an interviewer. You know what I mean? So he was never disrespectful. You know, he was, yo, you gonna violate me? Yo, you know. So he was never, you know, he was never disrespectful. So you know, he was just doing him. You know, Remy Martin was there, so it was classic. Remy Ma, you know, she's home from prison. Shouts out, welcome home, Remy. But yeah, that was kind of crazy, you know. So he was kind of intimidating, wanting to be, but like you from Roxbury,
but it was
from
business.
Roxbury, how intimidated you gonna be? Yeah, come on, you see that shit all the time, man. Come on, all right, got the interview though, right? Yeah, I put him on the cover. He put a couple dollars in my pocket. I know about that. That's different challenge, you know. Some days, because you got to remix. Some days you might be in a club. Some nights you might be on a video shoot. Some days it might be through the label, so everything's nice and pretty and everything's wired up. So everything is always, so you don't know what, you know what I mean. If you just going out, we just might be South Beach Memorial Day weekend, and we might be doing a Memorial Day week, might be All-Star weekend. So it's just everything's different, but. What would happen is just because people see your product, now there's a respect. So artists, you know, they're more willing to say, okay, take the time and holler at you. And you're never really dealing with the artist anyway. You're usually dealing with the manager, you know, or the DJ. So it's not like, I'm like, yo, Tip, can you do this interview? I'm probably talking to Clay, and Clay's making sure I get the interview with T.I.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, so some relationships are cool. Like my French Montana, you know, like when French started, we started together. So French, you know what I mean? He stayed in Roxbury, he stayed in the studio. So our relationship is different. Gotcha. So I could pick up a French, I could pick up a DJ Scream. You gotta think I started grinding with them. Gotcha. So when they started grinding, we started grinding. So we kind of came up grinding together. So, but for the other folks, you kind of gotta, you know, so you working your management relationships. So who's his manager? Who's her manager? Who do I need to talk to? Who's their stylist? Maybe I go through the stylist this time. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So you're always using different angles. Okay. So I left in '92. I left Boston, went to VA, went to school in Norfolk State, graduated up here. I was a Metco student. So, you know, I kind of gotta, you know, so that's just alone is a different experience being in Metco, like growing up in Roxbury and taking an hour trip to Sudbury every day.
Oh, you went to Lincoln-Sudbury?
Lincoln-Sudbury. So that's just a different experience by itself. So 12 years of that creates like discipline. Like I could wake myself up and be on the bus at 6:30 a.m. I could play ball, not get home till 8 p.m. and still get good grades, and still maintain in the neighborhood. So now you versatile because I could deal with the Roxbury shit and I could deal with the shit in Sudbury.
Pay attention.
So,
he's talking.
So those were some probably most important factors because I can work in both worlds. You know what I mean? So I learned, you know what I mean? Like once you learn that, then you learn business. So my father, he had a florist and he was an entrepreneur coming up. So, you know, I got a lot of game from him coming up. Okay. You know, just kind of watching, you know, just taught me how to buy and sell and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, so, you know, and watching your money and how you spend it, how to save, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So, you know, you put those things together, you kind of deli. So then I think after all that time in Sudbury, I knew I wanted to go to Black.